We are in Logroño, on this curious version of the Oca Spanish game that they have chosen to base on the Camino de Santiago. Today we are going to travel the stretch between the river Ebro and the river Nacerila, or what is the same, between Logroño and Nájera. It is 28 kilometers, which is a lot, the first 20 uphill and the last 8 downhill. There are hardly any intermediate towns. We have Navarrete, and if we take a detour, we can go to Sotes and Ventosa. We will have the company of the highway for many kilometers, and what we are not going to find is neither shade nor water, so beware of the sun and stock up on water whenever you can. Let's go! The urban section of Logroño is almost 3 kilometers long. After leaving the old part of town, we continue along Marqués de Murrieta Street, one of the city's main roads. The crossing of the highway through an underpass changes everything. We arrive at a pedestrian area popular with walkers. We go around the Logroño reservoir, which makes us forget the city for good and takes us onto the paths of La Rioja. We leave the reservoir via a steep slope that leads us to the highway, an unpleasant companion that will be very common in these stages of La Rioja. From here, in a couple of kilometers, we arrive at Navarrete. Just before reaching Navarrete, which we can see up there, we pass by these ruins. They are what remains of the important pilgrims' hospital of San Juan de Acre, run by the Order of Malta. It welcomed travelers for hundreds of years until it fell into ruin in the 19th century with the confiscations. Luckily for the monument, its doorway and some of its windows were moved to another place that we are also going to pass through, the local cemetery, located on the outskirts of Navarrete. Navarrete grew up around a small hill called Tedeon and has 1,000 years of history. The most outstanding monument is the Church of La Asunción. I recommend a visit because you will be amazed by its large dimensions and its gilded Baroque altarpiece. We leave the town center by the road, leaving the cemetery on our left, where we can see the salvaged remains of the Pilgrims' Hospital. Soon we come to the highway, and we have the option of turning left to go to Sotes at first, and then there is another detour to visit Ventosa. You will find the distances and accommodation for these towns in our Buen Camino de Santiago application. We have reached the Alto de San Antón, the highest point of the entire stretch we are looking at today. There used to be a hospital for pilgrims here. In the distance we can see Nájera. But don't get ahead of yourself yet, we still have 8 kilometers to go before we reach the center of the town. Before the factories that precede Nájera, we see a curious construction on our left. It is a vineyard guardhouse that has been restored, a hut where farmers took refuge to rest and watch over the crops. Now finally, we enter Nájera, cross the river Nacerila, and arrive at the center of the town and the monastery of Santa Maria. We are now in Nájera. Here you will find one of the important monuments that mark the Jacobean route, the monastery of Santa Maria. And very close to here is San Millán de la Cogolla, where you can see the grandiose monastery of Yuso or the ancient monastery of Suso. Check the Buen Camino de Santiago app to see the track and the kilometers to get to San Millán, or the bus schedules if you prefer to go more comfortably. Buen Camino!